Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening to episode 19 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. I am not Ryan Fox. I am back from vacation. Today is Thursday, July 29th. I'm here with my boys, Jared
Oh, that's right, and it's gilded Jared this time.
and Chadocero.
Hello, everyone.
And I want to personally thank you guys for your service and capping all the zones while I was gone on vacation, holding the fort down, yada, yada, yada. Most importantly, thanks for not getting us canceled when talking about Activision. So, but before we let the dogs out, make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe, unsubscribe, then resubscribe to the podcast, Spotify, iTunes. We also have a YouTube. Be sure to click the bell and subscribe and like and comment and follow us on Twitter at DestinyCC Pod. There we have links pinned to all our podcasts, the YouTube channel, the Discord server. Join that Discord server because I am sick and tired of seeing Jared post all these God rolls in there. So everybody get in here and let's all make fun of Jared in there. So if you guys are ready to let the dogs out, Jared,
Yep.
what have
So
you been
first,
doing in the last week?
a little bit of Sauces of Heroes, just like a couple runs here and there, and keeping up with my Tartarus, like 4.5 minute runs to get that quality loot in a short time span.
That's bad time. That's not efficient at all. I
I'm,
was
I'm, I'm
popping
going
through. I was
solo.
popping 352s on it last night on there.
I mean, good for you, Warlock. I guess. I mean, because those transfer steps come in handy for something.
Yeah, hey, listen, and don't forget about our sweet glide jump. You know, we can get some sweet distance. We look like Princess Peach on Super Mario Brothers 2, just floating over everything.
Exactly.
What about you, Chad? What have you been up to?
Oh man. Well, we did raid the last 2 nights, and still trying to get my last Gambit wins. Super excited about that.
You still missing that Vex Missile class too, ain't you?
We're not talking about that, Jared.
Yeah.
Hey, I got two orange titles this week. We got the Gilded Conqueror, no big deal, and that Gilded Dredgen. I got all
Mhm.
these twos floating beside me now. The only thing better than two at a time is three at a time. So can't wait for next season for that.
So one question for you, Fox. Did you listen to last week's pod, and did we leave anything out that you would like to address?
Listen, man, I was in a car with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old for 12 hours driving home from vacation. I know that for a lot of you West Coast people, you can't even fathom being in a car for that long, but that's how we do it here in the Midwest. We drive everywhere, mainly because I'm too cheap to buy plane tickets for everybody. But of course, I listened. I did appreciate us not getting canceled. You feel like you guys talked very well about the Activision, and I was like pumping my fist and so excited because I was right there with you guys with everything. And I noticed that we got a "I love you guys" at the end, so that is much appreciated as well.
Good to
But Dad
hear.
is back, and you guys better be on your best behavior.
Well, I guess we'll actually get into business then. And this week, a Bungie released today, and it documented and showed us a bunch of ways that crossplay is coming in season 15. It's not coming at the drop of season 15, but it will be early in season 15 when it hits. And there's some things that's going to be going on. Your names, how to add people, the easy to invite people to your fire team. A lot of stuff's going to be changing here, so we'll try to walk you all through it. So first things first is that everybody is going to be getting a Bungie name. This Bungie name is going to have three parts. The first part is your display name. Second part is the hashtag, and then the last part is a 4-digit numeric ID. So when you
How
combine all this stuff
original!
together,
How original! Does that not sound like any name you've ever had for any service, any launcher on your computer? Your Steam name, your BattleNet name,
Discord.
exactly. Discord, yeah, that's a good. And I believe Xbox even hijacked it and started putting the pound sign with numbers at the end of it as well. So, or I'm sorry, that makes me sound old. The hashtag with that
The
numbers
pump
at the
sign.
end of it.
That's
So,
right. I mean, if people are used to it, they might as well follow course, right? Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
a quick question. I'm sure you guys have noticed whenever you like access the clan roster this season, it has like the Steam name or the Steam logo beside or the people's names. If you're on Xbox, does it have the Xbox logo beside people's names already?
No idea.
I think I've seen screenshots of people post that they've seen it on consoles, but somebody don't play console anymore, so there's no way for me to know that.
I haven't had to check.
Yeah, but whenever crossplay is happening, you'll be able to see in the lobby what platform somebody's playing on, and so you have Steam, then you have Stadia, and Xbox and PlayStation.
So I'm jumping ahead, and I'm sorry to mess your flow up here, Jared. But did you guys laugh a little when Stadia was considered a console instead of a PC?
I mean, how could it be considered a PC? You know, like
And to have to play it on a PC?
No, you can hook it up with a Comcast thing directly to your TV.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a
I think
PC.
most people are playing it on a PC though, right?
I agree. Yes.
And I want that population with us. I don't want it with the console. There's a bunch more console people than us. So how did that happen?
I think
I should
that
probably
is.
back up. Jared, do you want to touch base on what they said about how the matchmaking will work?
Okay, so matchmaking. So they titled that section a level playing field. And I'm putting level in quotation marks because there's not much difference going on right here. So in PvP, PC is only going to match with PC players. And then for console people, if you're just in your fire team, if you only have people that is on the console or Stadia, then you're only going to match with people that's on console or Stadia. But if you have one person in your fire team that is on a PC, then you're going to PC lobbies. So that is for Crucible, Gambit, Trials, Iron Banner. They'll call on those competitive playlists, and those will be uh, restricted to those platforms mentioned. Which I think that's debatable that those are competitive.
I wish that they would have done it intake instead of console. So controllers play with controllers, mice and keyboard mice play with keyboard mice. That would make much more sense to me than the way they have it. I mean, how many people's like realistically, if you take the the Steam player base, how many people have PCs better than like a Series X or Series S or PS5? Like, I wonder what that breakdown would look like.
Yeah, it's probably not as much as we think it is. I think majority of people are closer to the 1080p 120 hertz that the Xbox Series X can put out in the PS5 for PvP.
I think the Series X can do 4K 120, right? In Crucible,
Oh,
I'm pretty
I
sure it
think
can.
yeah, I think there's a
I'm
way
pretty
you can
confident. I'll put myself out
prioritize.
there. I'll
Okay.
put myself out there and say that. So I can't. I just don't understand the point of taking all the computer people. Like, why are we left out of the fun?
Because everybody thinks that these PC lobbies are so terrible and that you have people that are so good at the game that they are going to run all the console players when majority of people on PC actually play controller. So you're talking about like numbers wise. I think this has been thrown around a few times. I think some other developers have talked, or the PC community has talked about asking Bungie for, we want to know percentage of players play what. And there's been thrown around 15% of people that play Destiny play mouse and keyboard. That play Destiny 2 at all. That's
You
including
said
consoles.
you said 15, right?
15% of
One
the
five.
total population. Yeah, 1.5.
66% of this podcast plays mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yep, and
And
I can beat 50% of them.
they say in the TWAB that this is the way
That's
they're
also true. Also true.
that this is the way they're launching it. This is subject to change too, if they think that things can be different. And what I would like to see from them is to have a playlist that is complete crossplay. To actually try some of this out to see if it's really as bad as they think it's going to be. I think for the most part, there's such a small portion of PC players compared to console players that they're not gonna tell for the most part.
Chad,
Yeah,
what would you call that playlist where you would try out different things in the Crucible and see how it works? If you
I
had to
mean,
name that, what would you
it
call it?
definitely. I'm a really sciencey kind of guy. So it'd probably be Crucible class or Crucible experiments, or maybe
I think you're onto something there.
yeah,
Getting close. I just don't quite have the ring to it, but we're getting close.
yeah. Like a laboratory, like Crucible
There we go.
labs, maybe.
Crucible
Yeah,
Labs. Wouldn't
yeah.
that be nice if we could utilize that?
I mean, like you have a little bit of that kind of that stuff when you play like a private match. Like you can make it a just crazy supers immediately, heavy all over the place, and you can do a little bit. But like a true Crucible Labs would be so much fun. Like everybody only has this gun or like this pick upable weapon. Like everybody only has Crota swords.
Or a gun game.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah. No shields,
What
no
if
radar. Like
what if Bungie made this thing that you could make your own maps and then you could use like the assets that the game has and you can let the community make the maps for you so you don't have to do it and they can design all this and then you can just put all of those into a playlist. Wouldn't that don't you think that'd be a great idea?
ooh, like maybe builders or contract like no, I'm thinking more, what about more like blacksmithy, like
There
a
we go.
forge.
Yeah. Wouldn't that work with the black? I mean, we already had the blacksmith title. Why couldn't we just have a
Yeah,
forge?
yeah.
And
Oh
then
man, I
people could
went to
do
town
that.
on forges. I made like a zombies map for the homies. I remade a ODST fire team map completely in Reach and just had some
Oh,
fun with it. Rebuilt the
the
spawns,
firefight,
everything.
the
The
firefight
firefight,
or
yeah.
whatever.
And I
Yeah,
rebuilt
man,
that
those are
entire
some good times.
thing so you could actually play a firefight match on it. It was nuts.
I remade
Um,
Hang 'em High from Halo One from Combat Evolved.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean,
dude,
I
I bet I spent 100. I bet I spent over 100 hours remaking
easily,
that map.
easily. I spent 4 days on that one zombies map. It's wild. It's a good one too. But I was listening to one of our podcasts earlier, just because I remembered I read the TWAB today, obviously, and then I remembered we had a podcast where we kind of guessed what we were hoping would happen with crossplay, and it's all the things that we stated make me slightly annoyed with what ended up happening so far, because I'm like, God dang it, we had such good ideas, and they're not even that hard to like implement, as far as I'm aware. But like, yeah, the biggest idea we had was just have a separate node for like regular Crucible, because Iron Banner, okay, you can call it competitive. They want it to be competitive, that's fine. But regular Crucible, Rumble, um, like just any kind of Crucible thing. Like who cares about Mayhem? I don't care if I play Mayhem with anybody. I don't care if I'm playing Mayhem with a guy on a SNES. I really don't care. It's gonna be fun. Um, but if they make like a node that's just just it even says just crossplay, and it's all the Crucible stuff, and then Gambit's just automatically crossplay, or they have a node next to it like they do. Um, it's really not hard. I mean, again, I'm saying this from a non video game designer standpoint, but they've shown that they can make things like this, like with freelance. They can update. They can use the matchmaking to make it so that it only matches you with a single person that isn't in a fire team. Now, all they had to do was make it so that you can only click that if you're not on a fire team. So they also showed us with separating making a separate playlist for the strikes crossplay. So they showed that they can separate it. Like this playlist is for crossplay, this playlist is for regular. So they can do it. And it's sad to me that they didn't.
Yeah, to me, Gambit should have not been restricted because
It's not,
Gambit's
yeah.
player base is so small already that you need more players in there. And if you made it complete crossplay, that's the only way I think you can make a solos playlist for Gambit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
you
easily.
definitely can't do it now. I mean, there's no way.
no, it's too
I
small.
mean, as I needed like 6 or 7 wins or something, and there were times that we went in and I recognized names playing Gambit, and that's not a good sign.
No.
Whenever I'm recognizing names that I've played before, and I don't mean like the next match we got like it just continued the matchmaking. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
No,
not a
I've
huge
had that
playlist.
happen before too. I've even like during Expunge, I've run into one of our clanmates. I think I've run into him twice, and he's in Canada. He's on like the east side of Canada. So I'm like, how am I matching with him in a seasonal activity? But like,
Yep.
it's yeah, I've had that happen too, where I'm playing like I'm just getting absolutely smashed in Gambit because that's all it is for me right now. And 4 games later, I'm like, hey, it's Big Butt 69 again. I know that name because it's ridiculous.
I'm not even sure how that would work.
I don't. I just like I'll recognize the name because I'll just see it, and then oh man, there it is again. God, how many people are playing Gambit right now? 14? What's going on?
So I ran it in the Charlemagne bot, I think last week, and I think Destiny 2 had about 1 million players that played last week, and only 10% of them actually played Gambit.
Oh, man,
I would like to see that at the first
yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, whenever
Yeah.
people are chasing Pinnacle, like getting that Pinnacle reward out of there. I'm sure it's much higher. But I mean, how long have you guys been sitting at Pinnacle cap? It's been at least a month, right? That we've all
I
been
was
sitting
gonna
there.
say even like 6 weeks in, because I was still doing playlist stuff for Pinnacles, and even then after that, after I was at Pinnacle Cap, just to make sure I had enough extra random Pinnacles so that I could infuse to an exotic or something, just to make a better loadout. I was still playing it, or playing them to hope I get a good Pinnacle or just a powerful engram that I can use. Because just playing the game, but yeah, I mean near the end of the season, Gambit drops off considerably because everybody that wanted to play it and is lucky enough to get to 50 wins is out. 100% is out. And then, you know, all it is the rest of us scrubs that just can't get to 50 wins in a season.
Chad, we can carry you to 50
Dude,
wins
we
if you want.
tried. I would like to suffer alone so I can have my Netflix going. I can zone out.
The issue is every time we play, you're like, I've just lost 8 games in a row. One game of this, one loss, and I'm out.
And then it happens immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm
You
out.
lose like the first or second game, and Chad's done. Can't even get into a nice rhythm. But you know, it is what it is. So, what's that? Let's try to get back on task here.
Okay, because you've
Pull
jumped
the-
around
pull the
this
scroll off.
rundown so
I
much
did.
that
I'm sorry.
I gotta let the people know.
I've
Okay,
been gone for 2 weeks, man. We got to give the people what they want, Jared.
so I'm gonna bring you in here. I'm gonna talk about silver in like 2 minutes. Okay, so you'll go okay.
Oh, you gotta be
chomping at
quicker
the
than
bits.
that.
All right. So when we talked about the Bungie name, right? So Bungie's going to take your name that's in game and make you a Bungie name. So if you're one of the people on Steam that has these cool symbols like the anti-barrier symbol, the champion symbol, like all kinds of stuff that's in your name, those are getting taken out. Then also,
hold on. Can we say that those are cool symbols? Do we all agree that those symbols are cool?
They
I
don't.
think I'm on the opposite side of cool. I think they're super annoying and kind of lame, if I'm being honest.
I think like if you have one of them in your name, it's cool. But if you like have it spammed like a whole bunch of different symbols, then I'm out.
I think we had one Crucible game where a guy's name was, and I think I was watching a video from a YouTuber, and no, I'm like because of Ryan, I can't say a name, but the guy's name in
No
the thing
free
was
ads.
options, like repeated 20 times. And every time they got a kill in Crucible, it crossed like the whole bottom of my screen. And I'm like, that's so distracting. It's done on purpose. Because I've never run into this person in Gambit or in seasonal activity, but I've run into them twice in the Crucible. So it's like they did it on purpose, and they're only playing Crucible.
So if you're one of those people and you still got that name going, probably sometime in season 15 or sooner, we don't know when Bungie's making these accounts in the background. You're going to be assigned a random, generic name, which is going to be Guardian with a random number. So if you're one of those people who just have the symbols in your name, you need to get those out and actually put a name in there that you want to be known as whenever this Bungie naming stuff's going on.
You better hope you're the 69th Guardian.
Quit being a coward. We're the 420th.
So, and then another thing is that you might have some symbols spacing out some actual words that's in your name. And if you take those symbols out, you might have a distasteful word as your name. And that's also going to get taken out, and you will be assigned a generic Guardian random number name. So clean it up, get your act together before the season 15 starts.
Sounds like an Orbit commercial. What I'm really concerned about is my name is so long. It's NotRyanFox space Conqueror's Corner. I'm afraid I'm sitting probably near 30 characters without doing the math, and I'm concerned I'm going to get cut off. So I think I'm going to be a coward and become NotRyanFox space CCP or CC Pod or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking CC
just
Pod
to make
too.
sure.
Because my name's about the same length.
Right.
So I'll be the one
cool,
testing it out,
about the same.
And I'm leaving mine. Mine's Jared Dash Conqueror's Corner. So I'm leaving it. I'm 6 characters less.
You might become Conqueror's Corny.
That's okay.
Something.
I'll just deal with it. And when the time comes, as we alluded to before, to change the Bungie name. It's not going to be happening when it launches, but sometime in the winter, they're hoping you'll be able to change that Bungie name.
Ooh, now. Conqueror's Co.
Here's the real question. Bungie gives everybody one free name change, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of, how much silver is the next display name change going to cost?
He went Microsoft.
How much silver is it going to cost?
$5 change your gamer tag.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be interesting because, on Steam, people could change their name all the time.
Yeah.
And then have it displayed differently. So
it's
going to be interesting to see how that interacts. And for me, it's at $5 to $10. I'm paying it if I want it to change it that bad. I'm not thinking about it.
So I know I can speak from experience on Xbox. It's $9.99 to change your gamer tag. But since I've moved to PC exclusively for the last year and a half or so, something like that, I think it's archaic to make you change to make you pay to change your screen name. To me, that just seems super old fashioned. So I think that maybe you cap it to once every 30 days. Okay. You can change it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should cost anything, or make it cost like Glimmer or Legendary Shards or something in game. But don't charge real world money for it, because I think that's pretty lame.
All right, sounds like 5 Ascender Shards to change your name.
5 Ascender Shards.
Holy moly!
I mean, I don't care. I mean, I have 40 of them.
Ryan, we've established that we are not the regular player. So 5 Ascendant Shards. What? I only get 2 of those in my season pass.
Hold on. I think I figured it out off the top of my head. Bungie is going to give one free name change away, one free screen name away per season pass purchase. Every time you buy a season pass, they're going to add value to the season pass that way, and you get one free display name change.
Stop giving them ideas, my guess, man. They have until the winter to implement that. They could do it.
Don't worry. Don't listen. Paul Tassie's going to listen to this, and then he's going to write an article about it, and it'll get out that way. Paul, I know you listen.
True. All right, so let's talk about our friends and how we got a few of them, right?
At least two.
Us three, we met on Xbox, and that's where we started before we migrated over to PC. And we got some friends on Xbox that still hasn't moved over to Steam, and probably won't. And that's fine, good for them. I hope they're able to secure a Series X or a Series S because I couldn't imagine still trying the game on an Xbox OG one. So I bet that'd be pretty
Jared, I remember
difficult right
having to
now.
talk you into buying a computer. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. Whenever we're all like, Jared, come on, Jared, come on. We don't want to play Xbox anymore. Please, Jared, buy a computer.
Yeah,
And
it takes a
then,
while
and
to
then,
change. I
and then, and then you got the women computer. So it was
Yeah,
even
but he
worse.
also migrated over to mouse and keyboard before you. So
False, 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 false. I was
I
there
feel
first.
like I don't know. It might be true because you had it a little longer.
Yeah, so it takes some time, for people to change the way they've been doing stuff for their entire lives. Start playing Halo whenever you're 9 years old and not moved off an Xbox since till
God, you're so
you're.
young. You weren't
Yeah,
even in high school when Halo came out. Jeez.
nope.
I
So
was a whole freshman whenever Halo came out.
Make it sound like there's a huge gap there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do. I'm an 80s kid, Chad. I'm born in 88.
Anyway, getting back on track.
all right, so friends list. So if you want your friends list migrated over to the new Bungie friends list, which also from now on will be called the BF's list by me. Just to abbreviate.
Is that a Jared thing or an
It's
official Bungie thing?
it's a Jared thing. It needs to be an official Bungie thing. It's the BF's list. So
The friend game is the end game, as the story was told years ago.
So if you want to add all the people you have on Xbox, you need to log in on Xbox and go through and add all the people that is on your friends list to be a Bungie friend. The same for Steam and PlayStation. You have to go find the people and add them to be a Bungie friend. Or
Hold on. I'll be honest. I wasn't really listening. I have to get onto an Xbox and add these people as a friend.
well, you didn't let me finish, Fox. So the last way you can do it, you can get onto Bungie.net and go to Friends Finder and link all the platforms that you have people or friends on and add them that way. So then once somebody accepts, so let's say Fox, you're on Steam and you sent a friend request to old buddy Aaron that was on Xbox. Right? So Aaron pulls up his Bungie friends requests that is inside the roster tab on Destiny and accepts it. So now he shows up on the friends list while you're on Steam.
This seems very convoluted. I understand it has to go to this in order to unify everything, but the good news is, it's only one time we have to mess with all this, and realistically, we play with what, like 15 or 20 people. Most people, that's going to be all they're really going to have to go through and add.
Yeah.
And most of those people are likely already in your clan, so you'll be able to do it straight from there. So it sounds terrible. It's not the best, but they're kind of having to patch it all together. So I get it. I'll give
Yeah, the
them a
way
pass on this one.
so like there's a time whenever me and you was playing dabbled in Call of Duty a little bit and we stopped playing with people from Xbox, we had to add them through our BattleNet account to be friends because they tried to send us the Xbox invite and it wouldn't show up.
Right, we had to be, was it Activision
Yeah,
friends or something? I can't recall
it's
exactly, but it
BattleNet
sounds very
friends.
similar.
Yeah. So that's basically what this. Now we're going to have like a single ecosystem everybody interchanges with through the BFs list. Yeah, so that's how the friends are going to go. So the roster tab is where all this stuff's mainly going to be happening. And another change to the roster tab is that you're going to be straight enter somebody's Bungie name. So that's the display name, the hashtag, and the numbers, and straight send them an invite that way. So on Steam, we always had these codes to do, but now it's going to be the Bungie name.
So do you think that Bungie just decided, why should we mess with fixing our invite system and all this stuff since we're doing crossplay? You know how it's kind of been busted, like Steam Chat and all that stuff here the last couple months. Do you think they were like, the new stuff's coming, so why worry about the old stuff?
I think the old stuff is kind of just it gets fixed, within an hour or two. When it gets down, like Steam Chat and invites and
I
stuff.
mean, I've had issues with joining people, like when I've tried to just grind the mindless stuff out through LFG, like dungeons and stuff. Like the join code won't work a lot of times. You have to add
Mhm.
people as Steam friends in order to join their fire team and stuff. So it's been a little screwy here lately, at least for me. I don't know about the rest of everybody.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't run into too many issues there, but I can understand the frustration with that. So yeah, my thought is that they're just trying to make it standard across the board so everybody can get on the same page together. And then another thing coming along with the invite systems and stuff, like say you're a big streamer and you just have everybody spam invites to you while you're online. So you're getting that shown up. What you can do, you can go to your privacy settings and turn those things off. So if you want people messaging you, joining you, stuff like that, you have some privacy settings to go in there and set to how you want to interact with people.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They have that fire team functionality going on already, where you can set it to private, nobody can enter, invite only, kind of thing. So it makes sense that they would do that for that, especially because it's even more intrusive. Because you can just
Yeah, I
type in
think
somebody's name and join them.
right. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened to like Professor Broman. I think it was Professor Broman. It was one of it was the world's first rage race. I want to say it was like Spire of Stars or Eater of Worlds, and somebody they had their like fire team set to open. Somebody joined in, and then was able to get their IP address, and then like DDoSed them and kicked them offline, so they couldn't do the world's first race.
Yeah.
So that's something they really have to. Could you imagine if like somebody did that to Chevy or Glad or Modern or one of those dudes on like Redeem? I mean that I don't
Hmm.
know. So I
Yeah.
think anything they should do to help those streamers, since they're the ones that push the game and keep it alive at times, they should probably look into. And I know that's not a very popular opinion from the evening Destiny player, but
So
it's kind
you
of the
know,
reality.
like New World beta came out this week, and I was watching Tin Batatman, and they don't have those settings in that game, so he can't accept trades or like try to trades with people because the server can't handle how many people is trying to send stuff to him. And like
Wow,
if he accepts something, like 25 minutes later, it's in his inventory.
that's wild. And
Yeah,
not to mention that game was frying 3090s.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, yeah,
It
for
bricked
like
through him. Yeah,
2 days. It was something to do with unlimited frames in the menus is what I saw, which was getting the temps up and just frying the cards.
yeah. So the last thing I think we're really going to talk about this crossplay stuff is like in-game chat and in-game text chat. If you in-game text chat is only on Steam, and that's the way it's going to be starting out. But console players will be able to see the chat. They won't be able to type back. That is coming in the winter. That's what they're hoping for. And then in-game voice chat is not on crossplay either. So even like Xbox to PlayStation people can't communicate through in-game chat, voice chat. And for the most part, I never did in-game voice chat on Steam ever.
I've never done it. Never in my life have I used in-game voice chat.
Not once in my
And
entire life.
uh, I tell you what else I'm not doing due to terrible experiences is using the Xbox Party Chat on PC. If you
No.
hit that Windows key and G, it pulls up all that Xbox stuff, and you can like join people's Xbox parties and things. It is terrible.
Yep.
So I'm a kind of Discord or nothing type of guy, and maybe I shouldn't be that way, but that's just kind of how it is for me.
Did they ever move the Xbox app out of beta?
I'm
I
not
don't think
sure.
I don't think they have.
I mean, it shouldn't be out of beta if it is because it's bad. You know, I mean, here we are. We're using this Zencaster program, and on it, I can choose microphone, like input, output, and have all these options. And this is nothing compared to Microsoft, who tried to spend $10 billion to buy Discord, and then they go and partner up with Sony. But
Mhm.
anyways, and that party chat system, that like whatever codec or whatever they're using, it is junk. It doesn't sound bad if you're on Xbox talking to other people, but whenever you have like studio style headphones and professional microphones, like
Yeah.
it really shines how, or I guess it doesn't shine, whatever the opposite of shine is, it really dulls your
Yeah.
opinions on that.
I think they literally made the Xbox chat for $40 or $50 headsets that are like the way those interact.
Yep, definitely.
All right, we're gonna hurry up and finish up this TWAB. So next week, Iron Banner's back for the final time this season. So get in there, get those bounties, and save them up for next season. So you might get some new loot to drop before Iron Banner even comes out.
Right.
And then lastly, the Bungie Foundation exceeded their fundraising goal of the 700,000 for the kids, and they ended up raising 822,000. So that's awesome for those lots of kids out there, and a lot of all that money goes to them.
It's amazing that they every time they do this is crazy to me.
Yeah,
and it's great.
Yeah,
have they ever not met their goal? I don't think they have they?
No, they've succeeded every time, as far as I'm aware.
I remember last year when they did it, and they just doing the live stream. They met all the goals within like the first 40 minutes of the 2-hour show.
Right.
And they had to throw stuff together for the extended goals. Like they just blew it out of the water. It was pretty awesome.
Hey, before we move on, I saw that there was a hotfix 3.2.1.3 that was posted 8 hours ago. There's not a whole lot in here. The main thing that I want to talk about is in regards to the Vault of Glass. They removed weapon drops from the Master Vault of Glass encounter loot pools. Players are now guaranteed to receive stat-focused armor from the Master difficulty encounters. Master Vault of Glass loot lockouts have been separated from normal, and both can now be looted independently each week, which is pretty nice. There's nothing worse than running that Master, grinding through that Master Nightfall, and then getting like a Vision of Confluence that's worse than you already have. So I always hope for armor. Now we're guaranteed armor, so I'm a pretty happy boy on that.
You know what makes me happy? If Fox actually read the rundown, and I have that talking point when talking about the Vault of Glass hard mode challenge this week. But
it's
you don't have it on there. Nope, I don't see it. I don't see it at all on here. Completely gone. On there.
Okay. All right. In honor of the NBA draft going on today, we're going to have our own little Destiny draft.
Cats. Go Cats.
Yeah.
UK all the way. Go Big Blue.
So, Chaz mentioned he don't like the sports ball talk every now and then, but I think a draft is something.
I'm fine with the sports ball. I just don't understand it is all.
And here's the deal. I hate to use this word, but if there's one word that triggers me, it's sports ball. That word aggravates the hell out of me. I hate that word, sports ball. Get on Twitter. Oh, everybody's talking about sports ball. Drives me insane. I hate that word.
God, I've been saying that since elementary school is the issue. So it's so ingrained in me.
The only word worse than sports ball is triggered. And sports ball made me say that word. So,
so this draft, it's not going to be a crazy draft, but what we're going to do here is that for the most part, I'm a hunter, Chad's a Titan, and Fox is a Warlock. So that's the characters we're going to be playing as, and we're each going to pick our armor exotic that we're going to use, and then after that, we're going to do a snake draft where Chad's picking first, I'm picking second, and then Fox is picking third in the first round. In the second round, that flip-flops, where Fox is picking first, I'm picking second, and Chad's picking third. And then it flip-flops for the next round, and that's how it continues. We're going to be selecting our kinetic, energy, and heavy, and then 3 mods. So, any questions?
We don't have to pick those in the order of that. We can pick him at any point. If Chad wants to take Anarchy first, he's welcome to do that, or Igneous Hammer, or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Or he wants to take Breach and Clear first. If he wants to take a mod first, I mean, whatever it is. It's all open, but you can't like double up a slot. You can't like go edition code and Izanagi's Burden. Like that's not a thing.
And also, it has to be an equipable loadout, so you can only have one exotic weapon.
Yes. And
boy,
we're doing non-sunset too. So, Chad, you on the board?
Oh gosh. Okay. So we're going weapons
Did we
first.
talk about order? Did we talk about order? How we determined order?
I did.
Yeah.
We didn't. No, we didn't say how we determined it. So what we decided to do was take our season pass rank with the 3 digits and add those 3 digits up. Whoever had the highest went first. It was pretty random, but it did relate it to something actually going on in the game. So
Chad, I thought it was by the coolest season pass number.
So Chad was 269.
kind of worked out that way as well.
Yeah. Chad was 269. I was 294, and then Fox was 245.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So I get to pick a weapon first. Based off of
Pick
choices
anything.
I want to make in the future. I know. Pick anything? I thought so.
No,
I can go with the mod too, huh?
You can go with the mod
You
first.
can pick a mod first. I mean, you can't take
No.
taken armaments, but you know.
I mean, I almost didn't get it anyway. Let's go. Being the Titan, Xenophage. I'm fun running Xenophage in all these activities.
Okay, so going Xeno 1, and then Chad. What exotic armor piece are you going with?
I really wanted to go with War Rig because I wanted to pick Heir Apparent because it's my favorite. But I'm going with the Fallen Star because we're losing Anarchy and we need that extra damage. So I'm gonna keep that Fallen Star on for the boys.
Okay. For me, the number 2 pick, I am going with Izanagi's Burden. I love that. I love that gun. I know what it leaves Fox with. I know the combination that it leaves him.
It's Anarchy, baby. Anarchy. It should
So,
have been the number 1 overall pick.
I agree that it should have been with the number one overall pick. I agree. However, I forgot to mention that we are using this loadout, which we did this in the pre-show, but we're using this loadout in all parts of the game. That is PvP, that's Gambit, that's raids, that's Nightfalls, that's dungeons. This is the only loadout you get for the entire game doing all activities.
And is that like forever, or just we have to complete an activity of each kind with this loadout?
Say like for a week or something. This is the only loadout you can use.
Yep. So that's what I'm going. I'm going with Izanagi's Burden for my pick with my 6 Coyote for the Hunter.
Okay.
All right. So this is NotRyanFox. I'm gonna step up to the microphone here. And with the 3rd overall pick of the 2021 Destiny Loadout Draft, the NotRyanFox Warlocks select Anarchy. You guys are supposed to start clapping and stuff.
No, I thought you were going to go with Divinity.
That was mean. That was real mean. So my exotic is going to be Transversive Steps. This gives me kind of some flexibility. It's the most useful in every activity of the game. Now I have to take a second pick, which I didn't expect to get Anarchy. I was thinking I was going to get Xenophage, which is really so what do I have, Jared? Like 30 seconds on the clock or something here?
Yeah. I think you should be able to pick something out by then.
Okay. All right. With the 4th overall pick of the 2021 Destiny Loadout Draft, the NotRyanFox Warlocks select Ignition Code, Kinetic Grenade Launcher.
This guy.
So with this loadout, what I'm looking for So I was torn in between the blinding version of this and the spike grenade damage version of this. But I decided to opt for blinding grenades with a slide shot and want to say one for all, but let's go. What's the one that expands your blast radius?
Oh, danger close.
What is it?
Danger close.
Yep. That's kind of what I'm thinking there.
Okay.
So that's gonna be my second pick, the fourth overall selection.
I think Fox is going pretty strong there with those 2 grenade launchers. There's a lot of synergy there. And, with me in the number 5 pick, I'm thinking about some other aspects of the game, not just PvE. I'm thinking about PvP. And right now, there's nothing better in PvP than my Adept Palindrome with Hammer First, Ricochet Rounds, Outlaw, and Rangefinder. It's that's my number 5. That's my number 5 pick. And there's nothing better than Adept Pally by your side.
Man, what if
Good
we
pick.
don't have a
That's a good-
single overload
good value
or anti-barrier in any of these?
I got Overload. My Pally's Overload.
No. That's next season, right? This is for next season. It's
No, we're going to have some slow weeks here, Chad.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Dude, this is looking like it's going to be a segment we're going to milk for a while. So you guys are probably going to see this again if I had to guess.
Okay. So if this is happening this season, I'm already mildly annoyed because we don't have any anti-barrier that I can see. So I might have to night watch, huh? Because it's always a solid pick.
So is that you locking that in? Hold on, Chad.
You don't have to night watch. I mean,
Yeah.
there are mods you can choose. We have 3 mod slots. I don't think that we mentioned that off the top.
Mm-hmm.
So,
let's see. So we got the overloads.
something that we should have done that we didn't think about. We should have made our mod slots. We only have like 7 energy to spend on our mod slots. But we didn't think about that beforehand.
We'll do a draft next season and deal with that.
We'll work that in. We'll work that in next season.
Figure it out.
It's gonna be V 2.0.
All right.
This is the season 14 draft.
Yeah. So for mod 1, I'm gonna go Wrath of Rasputin. Since I got Xeno can make those cells.
That's what I would pick if I were you.
Hey, I'm the War Mind Cell guy, so I feel like I got free reign for these almost.
You got back-to-back picks, dog. What's your next pick?
Let's see here. Next pick. I think. Shoo. We already have a void. See, I'm thinking like backfilling the team, like I always do.
You gotta look up for yourself too, because you're going into this content and like we're depending on you.
Yeah,
you gotta hold your own in PvP and Gambit. I mean, you gotta be doing a lot.
Let's go. The thing is, all my picks are very me, and I know they're not going to get taken from me. So I don't even. There's no fear here for anything.
All I know is I would be disappointed if you did not pick a fusion rifle.
Bruh, fusions are only for PvP. I'm not running any content GM level with a fusion. Oh, yeah. Even then, I don't. Let's
Jared,
go.
We've got him flustered, Jared.
It's exactly. The clock's ticking down, Chad. You need to make a pick.
Let's go.
I mean,
Seraph Revolver.
All right. I could
I
have
feel like that would have been there in a later round.
that.
I'm just saying.
So
Dude,
I feel
I'm
like you
telling you,
could. I feel
now
like
that he locked in the pick, but
I've
as we going through this, me and Fox already selected our kinetic slots, so he could have waited to the last round to
no,
select
you're
his
right.
kinetic, but he locked it in.
I mean, I don't know anything about the sports ball, so I don't know how these drafts go.
listen. I'm about to get triggered if you don't stop it.
All right.
Oh man.
So I have two schools of thought going on right now. One, I can pick something just to mess with Fox, to take something away from him.
I know what you're gonna do, but you better stop it. You better stop it right now,
So
Jared.
what I'm going to do with the number 8 pick, and I can't believe it lasted this long, is take Breach and Clear.
That was literally that was gonna be my next. That was gonna be the 9th overall pick from the NotRyanFox Warlocks.
Oh man.
All right. So, looking. So Jared, you're locked in. You're good. You're good to go.
Yeah, that was the number 8 pick. Yeah.
Okay. So I have the 9th overall pick right here. So far, I have Ignition Code and Anarchy. So we're going to be looking for an energy weapon that uses primary weapon damage, and I have 3 mods left to pick. So everybody is expecting me to go charged with light mods. And I have to say that they are 100% right. That's the way we're going to go right here. So the first one I want is going to be high energy fire. This is going to allow me to have increased weapon damage. This is the official, with the 9th pick of the 2021 Destiny Loadout Draft. The NotRyanFox Warlocks select high energy fire. Jared, if you could lock that in for me. And then to match this, with the 10th overall pick, the NotRyanFox Warlocks select I'm kind of freezing here. What's the taking charge? Taking charge. That's going to be our next pick here.
Yeah. So that's pretty great stuff right there, Fox. I have to say. You're
Thank you,
building
Jared.
out
I
a
have
great
to
lineup
agree.
there with the double grenade launcher. I feel like we've been doing this double grenade launcher stuff for 3 years with since Mountaintop released, pairing it with Anarchy.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget it.
So I am going to for my number 9 pick. I'm also going to go with
We
another
need your
mod.
official. We need the official. We need you walking up to the mic to announce this, Jared.
All right, Jared and the Master Race Hunters are coming up to the mic to take Powerful Friends with the number 9.
You're such a bum. Your powerful friend. Why'd you post a picture on Facebook with your triple 100 armor with your powerful friend attached to it?
Hey,
Oh man.
I'm a hunter. I need that mobility. Give me 2 tiers of that for free. Yeah, I'll take that.
Jesus. I have no fear because you guys are going against each other, and I'm just over here playing with crayons, not even know what's going on. So I'm gonna go global reach for mod 2
Oh,
and suppression cells for mod 3.
no, those were my two. Those were the two I was looking for, man. Come on.
So that's number 12 and number 13. So, Chad, give him a quick summary of the last thing. What you got so far, and what's the last thing you got to get for the final round?
All right. So far, I have a Seraph revolver for kinetic, a Xenophage on my heavy, and then I got Wrath of Rasputin, global reach, and suppression cells. So now I just need an energy weapon. And it's looking like I'm going to need an
Well, you're not up yet.
anti-barrier of some kind.
Yeah. So I'm going with one more mod here to fill
Jared,
it
be
out.
official. You guys, you need to be more official here. Come on.
All right,
I'm the only one taking this seriously.
Master Race Hunters for the 14th pick is taking Shield Break Charge, the number 14 pick.
Does that still work with champion breaking, or is it like the anti-barrier one?
It used to. I haven't tested it, if it's still doing it anymore.
With the 15th overall pick of the 2021 Destiny Loadout Draft, the NotRyanFox Warlocks select Igneous Hammer, Solar Energy Weapon from the Trials of Osiris Weapon Loot Pool. The loadout I'm looking for this is going to be Rapid Hit Rampage. So this is going to give me, I've got Solar and Arc right here with my loadout. So now I now have Ignition Code, Igneous Hammer, which is going to allow me to be competitive in the Crucible, as 120s are still pretty solid in there. Not quite as good as 140s. I would have went Palindrome here, but Jared kind of took that, his Palindrome that he took there. So seeing as how, and also Jared was able to get the Adept version, as he has the Adept version, and I will never touch the Adept version of the Igneous Hammer unless they rotate that loot pool around a little bit like we discussed previously. So I have one more pick left. We have one more way back through this. And with the 16th pick of the 2021 Destiny Loadout Draft, the NotRyanFox Warlocks select Supercharged to allow me to hold 5 Charged with Light stacks. And that is my last pick.
So yeah, Fox ended up with his 3 mods: High Energy Fire, Taking Charge, and Supercharge. That's a trifecta that is super easy to run and great in all parts of the game. For me, I need to round out my heavy slot for the Hunters, and I'm going to go with a Blast Batu. I got a Spike Nades, Quick Draw, and Auto Loading holster to quickly pull it out, proc, breach, and clear, stow it back, and take that Izanagi shot to the head to take out a lot of stuff in PvE. So
good pick. Good pick, Jared. I've never known how to pronounce the last word of that weapon. So I'm glad that you did it and not me, in case you said it incorrectly.
Oh man. Well, since like I said, there wasn't a single anti-barrier anywhere in there, Royal Chase.
Royal Chase.
Covering the void and giving us that anti-barrier.
okay. So I was really thinking you was going to go with the old trustee, but I realized having Xeno for your heavy, you didn't double up on solar.
Yeah. So let's read back through these, Chad. Read through your loadout, and keep in mind this is for raids, trials, Crucible, Iron Banner, Gambit, GM Nightfalls, blah blah blah. Any playlist or activity whatsoever that you go into, this is the loadout you have to do. We're going to see who we think had the best loadout.
Well, first of all, I do, because I wasn't picking mods from other people for no reason. So we're looking at Falling Star Titan with a 7 Seraph Revolver, Royal Chase Scout, Xenophage, and Rather's Rasputin Global Reach and Suppression Cells.
So, Chad, you went with double primaries. Looking back on the draft, do you think that was the correct way to go through?
Yeah, we literally have no anti-barrier.
No, I'm not concerned
Like,
about anti-barrier. Okay, Chad.
I'm saying if we're gonna run a GM, we're gonna need an anti-barrier.
I'm just saying that you could have doubled down with Wrath, Global Suppression,
Yeah, I could have
and
gone Deafening Whisper, which is
Empty
my
Vessel.
go-to. Empty Vessel, I already have a solar,
Yeah,
so I got that solar
you're going to
covered.
solo everything.
Yeah, no, you're right. I could have.
That's
But
probably
I'm a
that's what I
backfill
thought
guy.
you were going to do.
I'm a
Yeah,
I
backfill guy.
definitely
I
thought
always think
you were
of the
going
big
that way.
picture.
yeah. He's thinking about us, Fox, and having anti.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really nice of him.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, Chad.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For me and the Master Race Hunters is Izanagi's Burden, Adept Pally, Blasphemy 2, Breach and Clear, Powerful Friends, and Shield Break.
Not bad, but so the 6 Coyote allows you to become invisible, correct?
Yeah, I can be doing Bottom Tree Void, or if I'm doing Stasis, I have dodges to redo all kinds of getting abilities back, messing with
Yeah.
people.
All those nerf stasis abilities. You're right. So the the NotRyanFox warlocks. We have transversive steps. We have the ignition code, the igneous hammer, which I have to say for Crucible, Gambit, PvP, all that pretty nasty. Raids as well because I went with the blinding version. Anarchy, literally the most overpowered gun in the game that you guys allowed me to get with the 3rd overall pick. You guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Most
And
powerful
then
PvE gun.
It's true.
right, but yeah, but how many times are you getting heavy in a Crucible match, Jared?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So I wouldn't worry about
Your best weapon,
putting
you'll
that
never
towards
be
a
able to use
PvP
it.
weapon. Igneous hammer. Ever heard of it? Ever been
Nerf.
killed by it? Bet you
Nerf.
have. Then we got high energy fire, so I'm putting out more damage in the raids and everything. Taking charge, the easiest charge with light mod that there is to get. I just have to run over an orb when I know that everybody's has masterworked weapons. And then we have supercharge, so I can hold 5 charge with light mods. I mean, I have
Yeah.
to say, I think I'm pretty sure that with that igneous hammer, with the rampage from it, rapid hit rampage, and then we have high energy fire. I mean, I feel like we're looking, earlier this season it would have definitely been a 2-tap once all that stuff gets procced. I don't know if both of them, if it's still a 2-tap, because since I'm a warlock, I could be in also an empowering rift, which means I could just really rain pain in the crucible. So I'm pretty sure I won. So thank you guys. You guys is a good try on your end. Jared's gonna make us up a graphic. We're gonna post it on our socials, and we'll let you guys vote.
So it's something to have the team, but if you don't have the play behind it to make it to everything that it can be, your team's just going to struggle. So
Yeah.
Listen, we just assume that I solo queue into everything. So I'm playing people on my skill level. I'm not playing people on your guys' skill level. So what you got to say about that?
I have to say the draft was really fun, and looking forward to doing that again sometime and seeing how this plays out.
Chad just shakes his head. Mr. Double Primary just shakes his head up there.
Hey, I always backfill, and I'm always looking for the supporting role. So this one is all you two arguing with each other the whole time, and I'm just sitting here like, okay.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So also what we did this week was Vital Glass hard mode and the Oracle challenge, where you can only shoot one Oracle at a time. Well, no, one Oracle after you shoot like L1, then you can't shoot it again. And this was pretty tough as we went through it the first time. I think we first time we split up, like split some stasis up, did some bubble titans, and how did that go?
Poor.
Yeah, we didn't
Very
have the best
poor.
team setup, and most people don't have the experience with the subclasses that we were using. I mean, like, I had plenty of experience on Bubble Titan. I know the loadout to do with it. I know the area that I was going to be in and what I wanted to do. But yeah, it's it was real rough.
Yeah, so we failed horribly the first night trying to get this done. All of us, have day jobs, didn't spend all night trying to do this, and went to bed and tried to do some research to see what to do. And a lot of people just went up to top right, how you do DPS for the why did that
Templar.
name Templar? Yeah, name
Templar.
forgot.
I got you. I
So
got you, dog.
you go up there and you have 4 people on well, and just continuously trade out the wells and do them flip flop back and forth, shooting person responsible for all of left side, switch with the person responsible for all of right, and it worked out really well and completed it on our second try.
Yeah. So to kind of give a really brief overview, you split into teams of 2. So, like for instance, Chad and I were paired together. We had 6 Oracle and 7 Oracle were what we were looking at. So at the 6th Oracle, I was shooting all the left side Oracles. Chad was shooting all the right side Oracles. On the 7th, whenever all 7 Oracles light up, I was on the right. He was shooting left. So you just kind of team up that way. You have the well to protect you, and then we also had the bubble that was there to help give us a little bit of cover. Or actually, no, that was the next. That was the next part. I apologize. So we had all 4 wells. We were just alternating those, and yeah, it wasn't that bad at all. Second try and beat.
Yes. So besides the 4 warlocks, we had 2 omninoculous hunters that kept throwing smokes down, just in case people need to peek out of the well for a second to see if like L3 or R3 was on the spawn point, because those are the 2 problem ones to see. But you can still stand up in the corner and just peek out to the left and see L3 spawn, and that's probably the most difficult one to get. Just make sure you get up with the callouts. I was on the first team that did the swap, so there's only like 2 oracles I haven't had to shoot at all. So the majority of the oracles I could shoot if somebody needed an extra L3 call out or R3 call out, I could invis and go take that out quickly and efficiently. And then Chad, this week the weapon, Praedyth's Revenge. How you feel about it?
I honestly, I still haven't gotten a lot of experience with it in Crucible, which is what I want. I did not get a great roll, so I only got obviously the curated one, which is great, but I didn't get a good PvP setup, so I haven't taken it in there. But the curated, you get Feeding Frenzy and Firefly. So, I mean, Feeding Frenzy is great, but Firefly is not a PvP. I mean, it's not a PvP perk. But as far as PvE goes, it's okay if you're that kind of guy. It's better on primaries or a heavy because it'll proc more often. But for a PvE roll, we're looking a fluted, tact mag, rewind rounds, and high impact reserves. That way you can get more bang for your buck and hopefully get more ammo without having to reload with the rewind rounds. So it'll give you a bigger mag, from what I remember with tact mag. Rewind, which will let you on the last shot, it has a chance of auto reloading for every shot that you've landed, and then high impact reserves. So that bottom half of the mag is going to be hit a little harder. So that's great for DPS for sure, for anything, as long as you're hitting those shots. And that's the one I want to get, and that's the one I didn't get either.
Yeah, I think it's what eventually we won't get to. I'm going to spend all my spoils on at the end chest for that time lost version of the PVE Godwall. PvP, this weapon it's not really the meta. The zoom's 49, so it's a pretty standard sniper, and it's not one that most people are going after. But you can get a really high handling stat in this with the fluted, and then you can slap on the adept handling to where you don't even need snapshot because the handling is so high on the sniper that the moving target and opening shot is still going to feel amazing on this sniper. And then the Grandmaster this week is the Disgraced, the final one of the season, and it's that reprise strike from Destiny 1 Omnigul, and this one is pretty much slow and steady. I think the worst part of this Grandmaster is the first room with all the fallen and their the tracking seeker arc bolts that bend corners 180 degrees. Did y'all see any of that?
Absolutely. Or the camo like vandals or marauders that
Yeah.
charge at you and hit you with the swords halfway through, and you can shoot out a window or a door is kind of the only way that you have to shoot.
Yeah, for
Not
the
a
most
super
part.
fun first room.
Yeah, but you could really go all stasis for this strike and have a lot of fun just freezing everything and shooting them with grenade launchers, sticking it with anarchy. I think for the most part, everybody I run it with is at least two anarchies and then a wither horde. And the wither horde guys usually run on a rocket to get some of the anti-barrier knights that spawn up on those on the storage bins and like to fall off whenever you're hitting it with your scout.
Yeah.
These guys are a pain whenever they fall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they to
so
decide to heal before they teleport back on the box.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this one you're not going for much massive burst damage. So you don't need falling stars. You don't need a geomags because there's very, very controlled damage sections for the boss. And there isn't any like big mini bosses. So you're not trying to burn anything to the ground. So you can really run that triple freezy lock, or if you have to carry a hunter buddy through, he can go freezy boy too. Because that freezy serp is still pretty good in PvE. Um, but I definitely it's three turrets. Verity Brows makes it six turrets sometimes. Just have fun shattering everything to death for sure.
Hey, I I had a run at LFG with a triple stasis hunter run, and it was quite easy. The way the hunters could control. It's not as good as a stasis turret warlock, but it was actually really fun to go through it with three hunters, and I think it was like a sub 25-minute run to get the double loot that's happening this week.
Yeah, so that boss room, it seems like it's pretty slow. Where Navota, or as I call her, Fake Omnigul, she's a hard target to hit with like your anarchy and stuff. So that boss room, it's not like a giant risk of a wipe because there are definitely places that you can hit to be safe, but it feels like it takes like 4 to 5 minutes longer than it should in that boss room. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that was just the way my run went. But we should say that we didn't all three get to play together due to like work and stuff this week. And but it's yeah, that was kind of my biggest complaint was that the boss room feels like it takes a little bit too long.
Yeah, I think she's harder to stick than Kargan at the end of Insight Terminus. The way she moves, and if you ADS, she's bobbing and weaving and nearly impossible to stick with Anarchy. So I think what you end up doing, you end up running down that left side and get like Kana on top of her and pop her with a solo weapon, and she like stuns for like a half a second, and that is your best opportunity to stick her a couple times.
Pop or lock in your weapon choice and then drop the anarchy. So pop, lock, and drop it.
All right, Chad. I think you got some lore for us this week.
I think that I have to have some lore for us this week, but I mean we're still going to be talking about a couple of things that happened or came out at least in Solstice, since it's still going on. It's the last week. Um, I had a really big argument within my mind, and I remembered we have 4 weeks left of the season, so I have a couple more weeks of this, and I decided on talking about Misrax Kell and his fire team. Now there was a couple of things that came out. I want to say Forsaken Time, because we got some lore about him. I talked about it when we first started the season. I gave a little bit more background to who he was and his beginnings, his origin with the Awoken, with Sure Ido, who he is, how he was a Vandal when we first met him, and how he found his daughter Ido. Um, and I kind of glossed past him being in a fire team just to give a little bit of a storyline. But I want to dig more into that because it's something that came out in Solstice of Heroes, namely the shotgun. Um, so the after going through the couple of lore pieces that we had, the I put them chronological. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Lord of Wolves, and it talks about him, and it starts off with a hunter and a warlock. Now the hunter asked why they called themselves the House of Wolves, and he said, "Did you guys have wolves on your home world?" And the captain replies, "No." And then the hunter asks, "Well, then why then? Nobody's seen one." And the warlock chimes in, "I've never even heard of wolves before I went to the Iron Temple." And the captain just kind of looks and says, "Why Elixni except name Fallen? Why wolves except name wolves? Why Misrax is now Mifrax? Why speak Guardian Way instead of Elixni? Docked things do not word themselves." And he kind of walks past the hunter and the warlock, and he says, "House of Wolves, they may been Mistrax Kilassen, gentle weavers. Come, I know the way now." So we now found out that the House of Wolves was called Mas Kilassen. So that was their Elixni name. And of course, we called them the House of Wolves, and that's just what we called them. They didn't choose to be called House of Wolves. They didn't know what wolves were. So we called them that, and he makes that a point. Because obviously the hunter asks, "Why is that? Did you guys have wolves?" And it makes sense to ask that. And then we move on, and the warlock again asks the thing and says, "After Sibel, the wolves bowed and became the queen's bodyguards." And then Skolas happened, and the hunter's like, "What? Why trust your enemies with your life?" And looks at old Misrax and says, "No offense." And he shrugs and says, "Strange to do, but Elixni breathe and always love for honor. New promise does not unmake the old. Wolves would have followed Marakel forever if Skolas didn't appear again." And they keep kind of walking through a passageway. And the warlock looks and asks Mithrax. And he turns around and says, "The wolves rebel. Now the wolves are extinct. This where live mind things scatter must end. I will kell the mind open Elixni. No spider tricks, no loyal lies, Marisis truths. We fight for great machine together." So we can see that obviously he's still very new to speaking with guardians, so he's using words that he knows, and he obviously learned a little English with Sir Ido, but I'm assuming Sir also knew Elixni as well, because she knew some ways of old, and obviously she talked to Varix, so she knew some stuff. So she probably conversed with him in Elixni a bit here and there, and in our English here and there, or the Guardian language. So he's still learning that, which is neat to see. And then the next piece of lore came out with Outbreak Perfected. And he's standing at a command table looking down a hollow projection, and he's hoping that it reveals something to him. And the hunter is going through scout reports, and the warlock is looking through a data pad, running simulation after simulation, and trying to figure out how to successfully do the mission. And all of a sudden, there's a boom, and the hollow projection flickers, and the whole skiff tilts. And then the hunter starts falling all over the place. The captain grabs him, and the warlock just blinks to grab a handhold. And he, once the skiff evens back out, he goes out to the crew and leaves the warlock and the hunter alone. And the warlock says, "Aramis," is the question. And the hunter says, "I don't like this. We should be there with him." And the warlock just looks like she doesn't like it either. And she says, "We have to trust him. This is what Misrax wants." And the hunter goes, "Trust him to die? Let's break down how stupid this is. Not only does he want to infiltrate the tower without us, he's planning to wear devil's colors to interrupt a devil's heist to reclaim Siva. And instead of leaning on us, his good guardian friends, he's banking on some stranger." The warlock cuts him off. "Not a stranger. Fine, not a stranger, but definitely not a friend. We should do it. We need to do it. Just let us go. Let's go now. We can cut them off." And he conjures his ghost so that they can ready for transmat. And the warlock says, "We have to trust him." And I think he's right when he says it doesn't mean anything if we do it. Guardians do extraordinary things all the time, and he needs more allies. So she's saying that to him, we're already clearly an ally. And or her and the hunter. And so she wants to make sure that Mithrax makes more guardians into basically fire team members for him, people that he can trust. And then Mr. X re-enters the room, and they talk to him, says everything good, we're all good, and he says we walk this hardship with joyful hearts, be brave. And then next thing we know, we load in and we go on and get Outbreak perfected. So that's the last thing we hear about them for a long time. And then all of a sudden we get the Compass Rose, and there's a lore piece on it. And it starts, and it's a warlock and a hunter in a room. They haven't really been placed as where they are yet. But the warlock says, you should put your gun away. And Hunter kind of walks around his office and lets out a whistle while he looks around the room, and he says, the commander's sure come on up, hasn't he? Shotgun's still on his shoulder, and he notices something on a shelf, and is that a cat? The warlock gives him a shove into the middle of the room and tells him to put the shotgun down. And her touch leaves an ice-rimmed mark on the barrel. And she looks at him, just gives him the look, and you can tell her patience is really running thin, and he's still just standing there with the shotgun on the shoulder. And then all of a sudden, a voice behind them, I don't recall having a meeting scheduled right now. And they turn around, and the hunter faces Commander Zavala. The hunter shifts the shotgun behind him, and the ghost slowly decompiles the weapon. And he kind of smiles at Zavala and says, what gun? It's no gun. And Warlock says, Commander Zavala, while she chastises her hunter, she says, I know who you two are, Zavala says as he walks right past him. I have a call with a consensus in 10 minutes. You have 8 of them. He's heard of us, the hunter says to the warlock, who elbows him right in the side. And she says, Commander, first of all, we wanted to thank you for rescuing efforts on Europa. We wanted to talk about the long-term plans regarding Elixni settlement in the city. And Zavala sits and looks weary and says, there's no long-term plan yet. You didn't have a plan before putting them in a bombed-out ditch, the hunter interjects. Zavala's expression is mixed with surprise and aggravation, but he lets out a burst of laughter. It crescendos in an uncharacteristically jovial manner before dissipating. He says, I suppose it looks like that. This is the territory the consensus would cede for the time being, but the plan is to turn the area into community learning annex, where the Elixni and humanity can freely share ideas, culture, and language. And they would live there. No. If everything goes well, they'll live in the city, wherever they'd like. It's just going to take time to build a piece of Batsa district we gave them, and make sure the people of the city accept them. The last thing we need is violence born out of confusion and ignorance. The warlock and hunter looked at each other and then back to Zavala. That's honestly better than we expected. No offense to your city planning strategies, Commander. It wasn't my plan, he says. And he motions to a woman eavesdropping in the doorway. Warlock turns and says, Ikora. And both the warlock and the hunter look shocked. And she gives a little smile and says, when I heard Mithrax's old fire team had come to the city, I was surprised to see you here, rather than down there with him. Have you given him your regards? With everything that happened on Europa, ma'am, we didn't think it prudent. He's still there, still raw emotions, and with everything going on right now, it's been hard to connect with him. The warlock admits, giving a hunter concerned look. Ikora regards him for a moment, then approaches Zavala. And Ikora says, family struggles can be challenging, even with found family. But I have faith you'll find a way to work it out. She leans over and whispers something to Zavala and gives her a look of approval, and he begins opening a terminal windows for an impending meeting. And Ikora says, in the meantime, how would you two like to help the Vanguard? And the warlock and the hunter kind of look at each other questioningly, but look back. And Ikora smiles after they nod to her, and she spreads her arms to get them out of the office and says, good, we have a long-range scout operation outside the city, a newly minted hunter, and we'd like you two to keep him company. Ikora says as she walks. She glances briefly back over her shoulder to Zavala, who offers her an appreciative smile. Who? The warlock asks. That's complicated. So the shotgun ends kind of ambiguously, but it talks about a newly minted hunter. And there is a hunter that Zavala knows about that he told to lay low. And as they know, the Vanguard at least knows that these two particular guardians are very accepting of people. They obviously accepted Mistrex as a member of their fire team, so they're very open minded. And so this new hunter of theirs that they're gonna babysit is obviously someone that Akora and Zavala both agree is they can leave with in their hands. And my most obvious guess, with Jared sitting over there nodding, is that it's the Crow.
Oh yeah, looking forward. Dang.
That's what I have to say about that.
Is this ASMR?
Yeah, it's about to be. I think I got a bag I can open slowly and munch on.
No, I think it's gonna be pretty cool to get Crow back in the story and see how he plays out in a tower, of how people's response to him and stuff. And I bet a lot of people are jealous of his pretty cool transmog armor that he invested, Sis Strand in and stuff, that kind of stuff.
I think he had to pay like 2,000 silver for that fit.
Oh, and he probably did something else too. And
do you guys think he's more likely to be the Hunter Vanguard or the next speaker?
I think those roles are going to be combined into one.
They could easily be combined. I mean, we haven't had a speaker for how long now? So, yeah.
2017?
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's definitely the fire team is sweet. I'm excited to see them come back too. See if they end up being like just a pair of three just homies. But I mean, the Warlock clearly has stasis too, so she's ready to go. But it's gonna be interesting to see if they carry it. Yeah, yeah, right.
We'll only have to wait till what, February or March of next year to see it.
We might get one next season.
Yeah, who knows what happens next season, man.
Why don't get your hopes up, dog?
Let's get into this mailbag. All right, first question. Okay. If Bungie was still a part of Activision, would you still play Destiny?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we were already playing it.
I think this is in light of the accusations and the lawsuit that's happened to them.
You're right.
I would still play it exactly as much as I'm playing it now. You have to separate the art from the artist.
I mean, we have to think about it this way. It's they were still doing all the good they were doing, like what they did with the most recent fundraiser. They were still doing that before then with Activision, and it wasn't Activision helping them with that. They were doing it as a part of their own company.
Absolutely.
So they have always been a great company doing what they want to do. Now, having some of that money go to Activision sucks, but knowing the good that Bungie does, what I would probably end up doing is donating more often to the Bungie stuff, just to help them with their causes, to try to get rid of some of the darkness there. But Bungie's Bungie and Activision's Activision, so it's for that one I'd have to separate it. Now, if Bungie was like legit just a subsection of Activision initially, like they had always been Activision, that's a different story. But it's a whole different company that got taken in by them and then let go. So I think that's my thoughts.
If Bungie was more involved, I'd probably pay more close attention to the actual people that was who involved the most. And for the most part, these are the people that's the management. They're not the people that actually make the game. Whenever you're like, your boy getting your dog in these games or something like that, that's just stuff that's happened. It's not the people that make the game. It's the people that sit on the board or up in management that didn't do the work, the stuff that you actually enjoy.
Yeah, I would listen. If there's one thing Bungie is, they've always been like 3 years ahead of everybody, of all these other companies, like social issues wise, especially with all the like trans, LGBTQ, all that stuff. They've always been kind of the forefront of it, as opposed to following the trend. So, yeah, I would absolutely play. Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
And I wouldn't feel bad unless it was like, the desk like Luke Smith, Mark Noseworthy, like those dudes, if they were involved, I would like feel a lot worse about it. But honestly, I'd still probably play. I'm kind of a separate the art from the artist type of person. That's just kind of how I am. If couldn't listen to Michael Jackson or Rise Again, there's all kinds of people you can look at that, kind of have to look at it. I just kind of separate it. And maybe that's not the right way, but that's just kind of how I deal with it. So,
Yeah,
next question. You might have anything else to add?
Said
no,
my piece on there.
yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right. So next, which GM Nightfall is the most difficult? How would you tier the Nightfalls? So let me just stop you guys real fast since we're already at an hour 30. Let's save the tiered Nightfalls for maybe next week or the week after, since we're gonna have a little bit of a lull at the end of this season. Let's just focus on the part which GM Nightfall is the most difficult.
Is this season or all time?
Let's just take it as let's do it all time. Let's do it all time. Let's do both actually. Let's do all time and let's do this season.
I feel like we could save all time for next season because there's going to be a bit more of a lull next season, and we'll have more GMs to go through as well.
Okay, so we'll save that. We'll save that for the tiered episode, maybe.
Yeah, I
Whenever
mean, we
we
can
we
still
do
do a
whenever
tier
we
with
do
just
that.
the six for this season, and we can do another one next season. But we can do
Okay.
like an
Okay.
all around
All right. I'm
for
with you. I'm with you. You good with that, Jared? Okay. So first let's touch base on what the six Nightfalls were this season. So we had Glassway, Insight Terminus, Fallen Saber, Inverted Spire, Warden of Nothing, and the Disgraced. And I'm pretty sure that was the order that they came out in. I could definitely be wrong about that. So, in my opinion, if we're going on this season and this season alone, Glassway is in a tier that is probably two above everything else. In my opinion, Glassway is a S tier difficulty, probably one of the three hardest GMs that I can think of, along with like Proving Ground and the Corrupted. Those are probably like the top three most difficult. So I would put that by itself. Do you guys have any issues with that?
No, I'm right there with you.
no, not at
Right.
all. There's like three different rooms you can easily wipe in, and that boss room is a nightmare.
That's
So
one word for it. It's one word for it exactly. All right, Jared. So number two, like the next, so we all agree Glassway is in a tier above itself. So let's call Glassway a S tier. As far as these five remaining strikes, would you call any of these an A tier? We got Fallen Saber, Warden of Nothing, Inverted Spire, The Disgraced, and Insight Terminus.
Um, Insight Terminus used to be an A tier, and now it's not as difficult as it used to be. Now it's a B. Warden of Nothing teeters on that for me also, and depending on the mods, it can be a very difficult one. But the due to Warden of Nothing have three different types of champions, I'm putting Warden of Nothing as an A tier difficult Grandmaster.
yep, definitely. And the other three you can are very good practice GMs easily
Yeah.
very good.
Right. All right. So in order of difficulty, we have Glassway, which is like we'll call Glassway a 0. And then we think that Warden of Nothing would be like 2.
Yep.
And then what would be 3? Do we think like Insight Terminus?
Yeah, it's Insight.
All right. So is there a tier in between Warden of Nothing and Insight Terminus? Chad, what do you think about that? Do you think they're in the same tier, or do you think that Warden should be like a tier above Insight?
I think Warden is only more difficult because it has each champion type. If it only had two, just like every other one, it wouldn't be as hard, and it would be about the same level. So it's like Jared said, it's just teetering on being harder by just a little bit.
Okay. So I personally would argue that it should be a tier above Insight Terminus. Insight Terminus was not quite farmable, but the only room you have to worry about is that boss room and the room prior to the boss room, I guess. But I mean, we kind of went through that without too much difficulty this time. So, in my opinion, I think Warden of Nothing should be a tier above Inside Terminus. But if you guys disagree,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, we were agreeing with you.
Yeah, we were agreeing. It's
Class
just
phase S,
Okay.
Warden A,
Yeah.
Insight Terminus B.
yeah, we were just
Okay.
saying we'd place them in different tiers. It's just like we'd squish them to like the top and bottom of each.
Okay,
because they're
that
real
makes
close,
perfect
but
sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then the last thing that we had would be Fallen Saber, Inverted Spire, and the Disgraced. So, in my opinion, Fallen Saber is the most difficult of those three left. Guys disagree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
No.
so.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
because
could
there's,
probably
there's a
put
couple
Fallen
rooms that are
Saber.
annoying.
Fallen Saber is probably B
fa-
tier with Insight.
Okay. And then the Disgraced would be like C tier, and then Inverted Spire would probably be like farmable. Would you guys
It's
agree with
right
that?
there with Lake of Shadows. And
Yeah.
Further Spire, Lake of
Okay.
Shadows is with each other.
Yeah, like it's not as easy as Lake of Shadows, but it's
Yeah.
probably it's in the neighborhood. It's in the same area code as Lake of Shadows.
It's a boss
I-
melt at the end, and it's pretty easy to get to the boss.
Easily, yeah.
All right, Chad. What's our next question?
Next question is: how do you plan to fill the next 3 weeks until the next season drops? Is it 3? Because next week is August 3rd. Yeah. Yeah, this is the 4th. Yeah. So
So we'd have like the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th.
the 24th is the start. So yeah, 3rd, 10th,
Yeah.
17th. Yeah. I mean, we got to do our draft week, right? And I'm going to be spending the next 3 weeks doing Gambit, obviously, because I'm not going to finish until the last day.
Thoughts and prayers.
I'm actually going to be playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Ooh, yeah, it's a good idea.
Is that what you decided? Is that the game you're playing?
Yes.
So my plan is to obviously we're gonna finish up the Vault of Glass raid seal, which all I need is the last challenge, which is the Templar and the supplicant. Do not kill any supplicants at Atheon.
Must be nice.
I believe all three of us have that same. We're all at that same point, I believe.
No.
Then no,
Some
what
of
do
us
you
are
need,
missing
Chad?
armor pieces, and you need to complete the seal. Also, for the
Oh, he needs Vex.
I need Vex
Oh.
and one armor piece on each of my characters. It's insane.
Oh, you need one armor piece on each. Okay, I just need the Warlock bond.
I'm missing
It's kind of
boots on my
driving me
Warlock.
nuts.
I'm missing boots on my Hunter, and I'm missing a chest piece on my Titan. It's maddening. It's.
Oh, sorry, Chad. So the other thing I'd like to do whenever Chad gets his Vex is to do the Mythoclast, the run for the Catalyst.
Yeah.
I'd like to get that done, and I would like to. I need about 4 more Ascendant shards to be completely maxed out, and I need to stack bounties for next season. And then I think since Jared's going to be playing Jedi Fallen Order and not playing any multiplayer games with us, like a B-hole, I am probably going to play Horizon Zero Dawn, which I have
Ooh.
already purchased and just have it waiting to play. I have it on deck. But I also have been talking to my uncle who just recently purchased an Xbox Series S, and I think I might jump back in that Master Chief collection. I think that might be, just go from one
We still
Bungie
need to
game to
finish
another.
Reach.
We do. We do need to finish
yeah.
Reach. We're on what, like the 4th or 5th mission or something.
The 4th one,
yeah. So that's kind of what I expect to be doing next 3 weeks or so. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Chad, what about you?
Well, I already said, but I mean, I'm definitely going to be working on my Pokemans, getting my setup right, getting my OBS set up so that I can stream it a little bit, throw some stuff on the YouTubes. Um, gotta get used to that stuff. Like I said, I have a practice run. I think I said this last week, but I got a practice run going so I can get used to the mechanics of it and get everything ready to go.
If you need
It's hard
a
setting
if
that
you
up.
need a if you need a capture card like for your Switch, I have the Elgato HD60S. I would cut you a super 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 good deal on
We
it,
talked
as
about it.
it's literally
Is
just
it an external
sitting.
or
Yeah, yeah, it's an external capture card, so you could just plug your Switch HDMI through it
yeah?
and do it that way. So I can hook you up. I can hook you up with that and get that shipped to you across the country without too much difficulty.
All right. Do you want to answer these last two? So it's are you still happy with the seasonal model? I'm going to say yes, but I wish it was sped up a little bit. How we could have everything done in like 8 or 9 weeks and not be really concerned about doing stuff in weeks 11 and 12 and 13.
Yeah, I mean, like for this season, we have another 2 resets before the final thing happens, and we're already talking about other games we're going to be playing.
Yep.
So we're basically we're gonna on the 10th we're gonna log in, see what happens, say what's up, and then log out, and then play whatever we're gonna play. But
Yep.
like it's that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna watch a cutscene, maybe we're gonna listen to some stuff happen, and who knows?
Then just
We don't
wait
know.
for August 24th
And
to
then yeah, and
happen.
then just wait because we're gonna have all our bounties set up. I'm only gonna be playing next week because I want to set up some Iron Banner bounties. That's literally what I'm gonna be doing is just Iron Banner bounties, not even caring
Yeah,
about
put
anything else.
double primaries and Xeno. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that's not our draft week. That's not draft week. Don't even say that.
Iron Banner and Crucible bounties. You should be saying.
No, I already have the Crucible bounties done.
Yeah, only
You've
want to
already
save
got that
7.
stacked.
Yeah, I already have everything else stacked. I just need the banner.
You guys are a little bit farther ahead than I am.
Usually.
That's true. I'm usually stacking those damn bounties up until like the midnight before.
Yeah. All right.
So here's what I'll say. If there were so currently we get 4 seasons per year, which puts each season at 13 weeks roughly, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been partaking in some beverages during this podcast. So if we could
Water.
get those down to, yes, exactly. I've been drinking a lot of water during
Stay
this
hydrated.
podcast. If we could get those down to, what would that be? Like 12, if we could get those down, if we could get 5 seasons in a year instead of 4 seasons in a year, I feel like the seasonal model would be banging as opposed to what we're doing now. I
It
feel
would
like
have to
right
be
now,
like a weird like Crucible only season or like a Gambit season where it's not really like a
I would
story
be,
season.
that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
like that's what I'm saying is it because making a whole new story again for another one is tough, but like adding a couple of Crucible maps, throwing in Crucible labs, and just being like Crucible's crazy right now. Like, okay, I could do that for a season.
Dude,
Like, give
let's
me
go
some really
wild.
crazy Crucible
Let's go
armor. Could you
wild.
imagine?
Why don't we say every year we have one season that is a playlist. So every year the 5th season is going to be Crucible, Gambit, Strike. And that's what they focus on. The vendor do the vendor refresh that season. Do like 1 new Strike, 2 new Crucible maps, and 1 new Gambit map. And with
And then
that,
they give
that
us
would be the
burns
whole
back,
season.
not this
Yeah.
singed nonsense. Give us burns. Give us burns for the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, and like with the Strike playlist, give us Strike modifiers. Give us do you remember like small arms? Do you remember
Yeah,
that being
it
a
was the
thing?
best. It was
And
the best.
D1. Let's crank those out. I have an idea. Why don't we put some modifiers into Gambit and shake it up a little bit and let's just crank it out. And that's our fifth season. Our fifth season is like the wild card season. We know that even if they have like an even longer fourth season, so make our fourth season 6 weeks longer than the other seasons or whatever we have to do, let's just inject that other stuff right before you do it that fourth season because it brings people back into the game. We have new content right before the expansion drops, and that's going to have more people buy the expansion. So, Bungie, I'm available if you guys need somebody to hire to give you ideas. I'm an idea guy, not an execution guy. I can give you ideas all day. So, just remember, let's do this. Let's mix it up a little bit because this season, these last 3 to 4 weeks have been stale. Really, let's be honest. Let's be honest. The past 6 weeks have been stale, and next season it's going to be way worse. We're going to have like a 3 month, like 12 weeks of extended staleness, unless Bungie comes up with something to fill this up, which I think they will. I think this is when they're going to address some of the Crucible stuff. If I had to guess, if somebody is holding a gun to my head, that would be my guess as to what's going to happen. But if not, like wow, like Battlefield, Halo Infinite, here I come. You're getting my $65 or whatever. We're gonna have some fun for a few weeks.
Don't you still got Game Pass?
No, I canceled that actually.
Oh.
I'm not using it. I'm not using it. Like, what would I
So-
use on there?
You get the EA games for free too. So like Jedi Fallen Order, that's free on PC. There's
I'm
a bunch of
not a Star Wars guy, man. I wish I was. I feel like it should be something I like, but I guess I'm just not nerd enough to like Star Wars.
Next question. Are you ready for the Halo Infinite beta?
This is actually only for Fox.
This question came from NotRyanFox. Absolutely, I'm ready for the Halo Infinite beta. I signed up on the Halo Waypoint. I've been a Halo Waypoint guy for a while. I've been doing these damn surveys for years, even though I don't play the game regularly. And it's paid off because I got in the flight for this weekend to play the beta. I did notice IGN had some exclusive, like one entire full game match to where you could watch a full game. Looks fun. I have a feeling it's not gonna hold on to me like the old Halo games did. But after going back and playing a little bit of the Master Chief Collection with my uncle, just playing some like shoddy snipers, those things on these old maps that I already know and love, has been super fun. And I'm excited. I'm a little bit excited to get into Infinite. It seems like it is slower and more of it seems like it appeals to me. I'm going to be honest. I've only watched one match on the IGN YouTube. This is a terrible comparison. I say this at the beginning of what I'm about to say. It seems like it is more interesting to me than what the Crucible is to me right now. I grew up on Halo. Halo is my first love for first person shooters, video games, and all that. And this seems to be a lot more rooted in what I grew up to love than what Destiny is currently. So, right now, Destiny to me feels too fast, too much movement, too much air game, those type of things. The Halo Infinite, the one match that I watched on YouTube, this is what it's all based off of. I have not played the beta yet. I have not played the retail release. Seems to be more what I prefer in a game than what Destiny is now, as far as PvP goes. What do you guys think?
The little bit I've seen does look cool. I do like the little grappling hook that you get. I I agree that it don't take much for me to get more interested in it than the Crucible is right now for me. So, just to get into that game for a little bit, which will be free to play. So, but the PvP will be free to play. So hopefully it pops off. And if the streamers get on it and it's a popular game with a high player base, then you're going to have fun. Destiny's fun when it has a high player base, and it does not have a high player base right now in PvP.
Yeah, I mean, I have never during this game's lifetime had or played Crucible as much as I played SWAT back in Halo Reach. And SWAT was my jam. That's literally all I played for months and months and months and months and months and months. And now,
SWAT.
like, yeah, and they're bringing back the old guys, like the old voice. Oh God, it's gonna sound so good. I'm just gonna load in SWAT.
Listen,
Oh.
is that dude a lot older than you thought he was going to be? Whenever you saw like the video, I assume you've seen the video of him like
Yeah, I saw the video of
saying
him
like
saying things.
killing spree, running
Kilimanjaro. Yeah,
riot.
yeah, I
Yeah,
loved it. I loved every second of it. Yeah, yeah, he was older than I expected. I mean, when the game came out, I expected I mean, I was still too young to really get a good gauge for ages. So I was like, oh, this guy's probably in his mid to late 30s, you know? Um, but I was like, damn, he was probably in his mid to late 50s.
I think that dude's name is Steve Downs. I think that's the voice of Master Chief. His name is Steve Downs. He's done some voiceover work before, like on other Xbox like centric podcasts and stuff. I've heard him be the voiceover before. I've heard a couple interviews with him. He's actually a pretty cool guy. He's not like Lance Riddick cool as far as like Zavala, how he reads
Yeah.
a lot of like that stuff. He's not quite on that level, but he's pretty damn close, if I would say. And that voice is just, man, when I hear like a killing spree, Slayer. Like when I hear those
Yeah.
things, man, that
It's just great.
tickles my heart. I don't know what else to say. I don't have anything. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, to me, that is video games. That is multiplayer video games. That is Bungie. And man, it really brings the feels. That's kind of the best way to describe it for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I think that wraps up the mailbag this week. I think we're ready to kind of close this thing out. Does anybody have anything else to add before we roll out?
Looking forward to finally getting that time lost Fatebringer next week.
And looking forward to seeing Ryan get Vex Myth classed again.
Just for the record, I tell you guys that I get it every single run, but I've only got it one time this entire season, and I'll tell that to you and all the listeners, but not to the rest of the raid team because they think I've got it like 6 times so far. So before we sign off, remember to listen to the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, like us on YouTube, click the bell, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Most importantly, we have 3 weeks until August 24th when we get to hear about the Witch Queen and the next season. Jared, do you have anything to tell everybody goodbye?
I think I'm not going to take your sign off line, but I'm
Stop
looking
it.
forward to next season, and don't get your hopes up too much for August 24th. Keep your expectations low, so you're super happy at the end of the day.
Chad, what do you got for us, dog?
I'm gonna say that I got one more really solid lore option, but I need 2 more. If anybody wants to shout those out, drop them on the Twitter. I'm more than happy to talk about stuff. But I need ideas.
All right. So that Twitter that he talks about is at Destiny CC Pod. We have a Discord that I will put into the link. I'm sorry, into the details or whatever all that stuff is, the info, the details, whatever you want to call that. I want to drop it in there as well. Most importantly, I want everybody to go out this week, Let's get that Master Vault of Glass challenge done. This is the week. This is the easiest one to do with the method. I'm not going to call it a cheese, to call it the method that we use to do it. And everybody go out, become legend this week. Most importantly, always remember that I love you guys.